tender beef fajitas, technology, guacamole, marketing, jalapenos, and pico de gallo in a warm cheese sauce.
Get out of there.
You're good, man. Okay, so we are here at Mix 07. We got Robert Scoble following down the hallway when he's trying to get into the get on the airplane.
Yeah.
This is Queso Compuesto with Giovanni Gallucci.
Talk about what you've seen so far today.
Oh,
anything impressed you?
Well, yeah, Jeff Procyse, I just saw him. He's the founder of Wintellect, and he said today is the day the internet changed. You know, and there's a little bit of hyperbole in there, but not much. You know, they just showed off Silverlight, which has the .NET CLR built into it. In web pages, you can run all sorts of really cool apps on Mac and PC. You know, there's a really cool video streaming service now, so you can stream HD video like what I filmed.
There you go, yeah.
And put that up for no cost at I think 10 gigabytes. 10 minutes.
Okay.
Or 1 million minutes a month for no cost. Or you can do a rev sharing where you put up ads, or you can pay them a little bit of money, but not too bad. What was the other thing? They announced a whole slew of stuff this morning, and they showed off some of the most killer demos I've seen in a long time.
Were you down there to?
No, I was up here watching on this big screen in here, but
yeah,
pretty cool stuff.
Guthrie does a really good job.
Oh yeah, well that's who I was just interviewing, and
okay.
They got the skinny on everything that they've been doing.
Okay.
Pretty impressive stuff. I gotta say, this is going to open up the internet to a whole nother richness. And we're going to see some apps that we haven't yet seen.
So I just saw that you just, well, I don't know how, this is on the plane over here, I saw that you did with the Flex, the Apollo guys.
Yeah.
And how does that compare to what they've got?
Different. They're both companies are attacking the rich internet space from different angles, right? Adobe has a rich design history, right? They're the guys who have Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop and PageMaker and InDesign. Dreamweaver, Macromedia Dreamweaver, and they also have a huge installed base, right? Because they have Flash that's been for 10 years, it's on every machine. So they're coming at it from that space. Microsoft has far better tools for developers, right? .NET is a development platform for programmers. You know, designers very rarely use .NET, right? That's not something that a logo designer is going to sit down and use, right? But they're being mashed up and they're competing in a new space, and it's going to be pretty interesting. I think this puts Microsoft ahead in video, in developer tools. Adobe's ahead in cross-platform tooling because their tools are on Mac and Windows, not just on Windows. But this brings Microsoft way
So this
further.
isn't just pseudo Flash. I mean, you think that this is much more than that.
Yeah, because this is the full .NET runtime in your browser, and that opens up a whole another kind of level of application, and it lets developers use C# or VB as well as JavaScript. And the performance, I don't know if you saw the chess demo this morning, the performance is dramatically better than the JavaScript stuff
Now,
elsewhere.
in Worley's thing, he did a session on open source and interoperability.
Yep.
And who made the comment about JavaScript? Basically, that was a handicapped demo on the chess thing this morning, the JavaScript demo.
Oh, I don't know who did that demo. I thought it was.
Yeah, I think one of the guys were complaining that it was probably handicapped, that he could have optimized JavaScript.
Mozilla,
Mike? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm sure there's a little trickery in it. You know, generally when you're demoing something, you demo what makes you look best and what makes everything else look the worst, right? And so, yeah, I want to see more proof points, right? I don't want to just drink the Microsoft Kool-Aid and say they won. Yeah. But I think it'll end up the runtime, the compiler, the JIT compiler that's inside .NET is pretty damn good. I mean, it's been through 4 or 5 iterations at this point, and they've worked on it. Where Flash is a newer, the JIT is newer. It's and it doesn't do multiple languages. And it doesn't have some of the constructs. It doesn't have some of the constructs, and it doesn't have the rich developer. Who works at Microsoft, right? Anders, who came from Borland, who invented Delphi,
That's the one thing I
invented
thought
Borland
about.
C++. This is a rich history of lineage, right? And Adobe has its own rich lineage, which will come out too. You'll see some differences between these two development methodologies or frameworks or technologies, whatever you want to call them. I think it's an exciting time because now you get a choice and you get to see some new kinds of applications that just weren't possible even a few months ago. Even on the Adobe side, right? Adobe Apollo lets me build an offline Flash app that I could build a calendaring app now pretty easily that I couldn't have done before, or if I did, I would have had to do a lot of work. Same thing on the Silverlight side of the house, right? The Microsoft side of the house. I can do new kinds of internet connected apps that I just couldn't have done before, or I would have had to do a lot of work, right?
And one of the things that I notice on that is that you've got obviously the tie into the enterprise. In all of the tools now, you've got the rich applications, and some of the stuff that Avenue A Razorfish has done. Some of those demos they have is amazing that are tying into very rich, data centers and data sets, and they've got demos with the live stuff and pretty impressive stuff that I never saw stuff like that with Flash.
So you're seeing the two lineages come and compete in a new space, and that's fun. Who will win? I don't know. They'll both have their wins because Flash, if you're a Mac developer and you don't want to use Windows, you're not going to use Silverlight. I don't care how. I've never
seen Flash really making any kind of real impact in the enterprise.
I don't know if I would go that far. Okay, I'll hand you that because Chevron, do they really do very? I don't know that I would go that far. Certainly you see Flash used on a lot of consumer web apps, Google Finance, Yahoo Maps, and on and on. There's plenty of proof points, or case studies that you could. But
I can see someone like Rob Intelligent really opening up his shop now, and really building. They've got community server and really building some stuff up now, integrating this.
Well,
he has really giving you some ideas.
That's a good example of the lineage, right? Because his developers are really hardcore C# or VB developers, .NET. There's a lot of expertise there. They are not that designer-centric. Community server doesn't have a lot of weird Flash stuff on it, right? It's not like Scrapblog, for instance, right?
Exactly.
Scrapblog is a very heavy Flash user, and will a Scrapblog switch over to a Silverlight app? I don't know. Maybe. We'll have to see.
I can see him hiring designers on staff now to really get into it, because he helped launch this new app at jobburner.com. There's a lot of Web 2.0 in that, and that's running the next generation of community server. So we'll see. All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Well, thank you very much.
Safe trip.
And thanks for interviewing.
Absolutely.